Konnichiwa minasan. O genki desu ka? Welcome to the intermediate course of my channel. Let's learn Japanese with Eric. In this lesson, we learn how to use the pseudonoun tokoro, which emphasizes the instant someone is doing an action. Yoroshii desu ka? Hajimemashou. In this lesson, we learn all about the major points of the pseudonoun tokoro. Tokoro is a noun that ordinarily means place, such as when you say, this place is quiet. Kono tokoro wa shizuka desu. However, as a pseudonoun, it means time or state of being. Back in lesson 61, we learned all about the pseudonoun toki, which also means time, but the difference is that tokoro emphasizes the instant and or state of being one is in relation to the action. Tokoro can modify verbs, adjectives, and nouns, and in plain speech, it shortens to toko. Tokoro is also used in fixed patterns, which we will take up here. For verbs, we have 7 patterns to remember. The first 4 that you'll see on this slide are the most commonly used ones. The first pattern uses the dictionary or ru form of the verb, plus tokoro da. The da here is the plain form of des. Ru tokoro da means I'm about to do the action. The second pattern uses the progressive form or the te-iru form of the verb, plus tokoro da. Te-iru tokoro da means that I'm in the middle of doing the action. Third pattern uses the past progressive or the te-ita form of the verb, plus tokoro da. Te-ita tokoro da means I have been doing the action, meaning I started doing the action some while ago in the past and I'm still doing it now. And the last pattern uses the plain past or the ta form of the verb, plus tokoro da. Ta tokoro da means I just finished doing the action. These are the 4 main takeaways of this lesson. The next 3 patterns are less frequently used, but are equally important. We have the pattern yo to shite-ita plus tokoro da. Yo to shite-ita tokoro da means I was about to do the action. Emphasis on the was here, past tense. The yo part is the plain volitional form, and you can review how to make the plain volitional in lesson 34 on invitations. So yo to shite-ita tokoro da means I was about to do. Next pattern uses the dictionary form of the verb plus tokoro datta, past tense. Ru tokoro datta means I almost or I nearly nantoka nantoka. The last pattern uses the plain past or ta form of the verb plus tokoro de. Emphasis is on the de. Ta tokoro de means although or even if. Now this is similar to the temo conjugation that we learned in lesson 50. To use with adjectives, the adjective must be in the e form and na form. And to use with nouns, we have to add the particle no in between to form noun no tokoro. And for all these, the meaning would be the time when nantoka nantoka, with emphasis on the state of being as opposed to the time when we use toki. And we will also look at the pseudonoun tokoro, followed by these particles, TOKORO WO, TOKORO NI, TOKORO E, and TOKORO DE. Ni and e are for the most part interchangeable. Let's now look at our examples. I'll go directly to the Japanese sentences and have the English meaning of words underneath the Japanese words to make it easier for you to work out the meaning of the sentence. Now, ru tokoro da means I'm about to do something. So the sentence, watashi wa ima dekakeru tokoro da. Watashi wa ima dekakeru tokoro da. The key here is to spot the pattern ru tokoro da. And so the sentence means I'm about to leave the house now. For the first 4 patterns of using tokoro, it's very common to use the adverb of time ima or chodo or chodo ima, which means just now, to further emphasize the nounness of the action. Another example, 今僕は寝るところです。今僕は寝るところです。Again, note the るところです pattern and the word 今 for emphasis. Translation, I'm about to sleep now. Next pattern is ているところだ, which means I'm in the middle of doing なんとかなんとか。お母さんは今寿司を作っているところです。お母さんは今寿司を作っているところです。We have the ているところだ pattern and 今 for emphasis. In translation, Mom is now in the middle of making sushi. Another similar example. 今、田中さんは友達と話しているところです。今、田中さんは友達と話しているところです。In English, right now, Mr. Tanaka is in the middle of talking with a friend. Another example, this one is from my friend Keishi, who now lives in Australia. 僕の頭は平田先生のように髪の毛がなくなってきて泣いているところです。僕の頭は平田先生のように髪の毛がなくなってきて泣いているところです。My head is like Professor Hirata's. The hair is disappearing, and I'm in the midst of crying. Don't worry, Keishi, it'll grow back with Rogaine. Next pattern is the て-itaところだ. Our sentence, みんなは今昼ご飯を食べていたところです。みんなは今昼ご飯を食べていたところです。The て-itaところだ pattern means I've been doing なんとかなんとか。Translation, everyone now has been eating lunch. Emphasis here is on the state of being, that everyone started to eat lunch a while ago and is still doing so up to now. Another example, 子供たちは今テレビを見ていたところだ。子供たちは今テレビを見ていたところだ。Translation, the kids have been watching TV. They're at a point that they've been watching TV for some time now. Next pattern is たところだ。次郎君は今起きたところです。次郎君は今起きたところです。たところだ means I just finished なんとかなんとか。Translation, Jiro just woke up now. Another example, ちょうど今会社に着いたところです。ちょうど今会社に着いたところです。Translation, I arrived at the company just now. Next pattern is ようとしていたところだ。今、出かけようとしていたところだ。今、出かけようとしていたところだ。The ようとしていたところだ pattern indicates I was about to do なんとかなんとか。Translation, I was just about to go out. Another example, ちょうど今、君に電話しようとしていたところです。ちょうど今、君に電話しようとしていたところです。Translation, I was just about to phone you. Another example, 今、タクシーを呼ぼうとしていたところだ。今、タクシーを呼ぼうとしていたところだ。Translation, I was just about to call a taxi. Our next pattern is るところだった。Emphasis is on the past tense here, だった。Our sentence, 彼女はもう少しで死ぬところだった。彼女はもう少しで死ぬところだった。The るところだった pattern means I almost or I nearly なんとかなんとか。Translation, she nearly died. Now, for this pattern, it's common to add the expression もう少しで, which means just a bit more. So just a bit more and she would have died. 財布を忘れるところでした。財布を忘れるところでした。I almost forgot my wallet. 二人は殴り合いをするところだった。二人は殴り合いをするところだった。Translation: The two nearly came to blows. The last fixed pattern is ta tokoro de, with emphasis on the particle de. Ta tokoro de means although or even if. Sample sentence: いくら説明したところで誰も僕を信じてくれないだろう。いくら説明したところで誰も僕を信じてくれないだろう。Again, remember that ta tokoro de means even if or although. Now, the tekoreru conjugation is a giving and receiving of actions conjugation that we learned in lesson 69. The whole sentence translates to, even if I explain hard, no one will probably believe me. Or, no matter how hard I explain, no one will probably believe me. Another example. あの病気はどんな薬を飲んだところで治らないでしょう。あの病気はどんな薬を飲んだところで治らないでしょう。Translation: That illness won't probably be cured even by taking medicine. In the next few slides, we look at examples that combine tokoro with adjectives and nouns. First, we look at tokoro combined with a direct object particle wo, TOKORO WO. We will look at three social greetings that use the TOKORO WO pattern. お忙しいところをごめんなさい。お忙しいところをごめんなさい。This is a social greeting when calling upon someone. The E adjective is 忙しい, meaning busy, and it has the honorific prefix o before it to indicate that the listener is busy. This greeting means, sorry to bother you at a busy time. This is a similar greeting that uses a na adjective. ご多忙なところをすみません。ご多忙なところをすみません。多忙な is a na adjective meaning busy, and the honorific prefix go is put before it to indicate the busyness of the listener. Again, this greeting means, sorry to bother you at a busy time. And we have the same greeting using a noun. お急ぎのところを申し訳ございません。お急ぎのところを申し訳ございません。Isogi is the conjunctive form of the verb isogu, meaning to hurry. And as we said before, many conjunctives are nouns. Isogi roughly translates to the hurriedness or the busyness. And we have the honorific prefix o before it to refer to the listener. 申し訳ございません is an apology, which literally means there's no good reason. So the whole greeting roughly translates to, it's inexcusable to bother you at a busy time. Another Tokoro wo example. 彼女が踊っているところを見たことがありません。彼女が踊っているところを見たことがありません。The たことがありません conjugation denotes experience, which we learned in lesson 54. 見たことがありません means have never seen. Have never seen what? 彼女が踊っているところを. So translation, I've never seen her dancing, an emphasis on the moment of dancing. Another example. 赤ちゃんは危険なところをベイビーシッターに助けられた。赤ちゃんは危険なところをベイビーシッターに助けられた。 Takerareta is a passive conjugation. It means saved by. We will study the passive conjugation soon in a future lesson. And saved by whom? The babysitter. Babyshita ni. Saved from what? Kiken na tokoro wo. A dangerous moment. So translation, the baby was saved by the babysitter from danger or from a dangerous moment. Maybe the baby was about to fall off the bed. Beddo kara ochiru tokoro datta. Next example. Tanaka buchou wa aijin to kiss shite iru tokoro wo okusama ni mirarete shimaimashita. Tanaka buchou wa aijin to kiss shite iru tokoro wo okusama ni mirarete shimaimashita. Mirarete is again a passive construction. It means seen by. Seen by whom? Okusama ni, or wife. Now, te shimaimashita is a conjugation expressing regret, and you can review this conjugation in lesson 42. Now, what did the wife see? Her husband kissing his lover. Aijin to kiss shite iru tokoro wo. So, translation, Manager Tanaka was unfortunately seen by his wife at the moment he was kissing his lover. In other words, caught in the act. Next, we will look at examples that use tokoro ni or tokoro e. Again, in most cases, ni and e are interchangeable. Ii tokoro ni kimashita ne. Issho ni tabemashou. Or, ii tokoro e kimashita ne. Issho ni tabemashou. Ii tokoro means at a good time or good timing. And in this case, we can use either the particles ni, e, or even de. We can also say ii tokoro de kimashita ne. So translation, you came at a good time. Let's eat. Next example is noun no tokoro ni or e construction. Benkyou chū no tokoro ni or benkyou chū no tokoro e totsuzen teide ni natte shimatta. Benkyou chū no tokoro means in the midst of studying. So translation, in the midst of studying, the power suddenly went out. Gakkou ni tsuita toko ni shukudai o wasureta no ni kizuita. Or, Gakkou ni tsuita toko e shukudai o wasureta no ni kizuita. We are using the shortcut fast speech version here, toko instead of tokoro. Kizuita means realized. Realized what? That I forgot my homework. Shukudai o wasureta no. The particle no here is a nominalization, converting the verb phrase before it into a noun clause. You can review nominalization with no and koto in lesson 44. So the whole sentence translates to, just as I arrived at school, I realized that I forgot my homework. Next, we look at the pattern tokoro de. Remember that the particle de denotes location of an action or method. Ima kangaeteiru tokoro de mada henji dekimasen. Ima kangaeteiru tokoro de mada henji dekimasen. Kangaeteiru tokoro here means in the process of thinking, and the particle de indicates where you are now in the process of giving an answer. It's not a physical location, but an abstract location. It also indicates reason. So roughly, the sentence translates to, because I'm in the process of thinking about it, I still can't give you an answer. Minasan ga atsumatta tokoro de hajimemashou. Minasan ga atsumatta tokoro de hajimemashou. Minasan ga atsumatta tokoro means at the point where everyone is gathered. It refers to, again, the location of where we are in the process, and it's not a physical location. So it roughly translates to, with everyone now gathered, let's begin. Now, tokoro de by itself means by the way. It warns the listener that a new topic is about to be said by the speaker. So for example, 今日は暑いですね. 今日は暑いですね. It's hot today, isn't it? And then the other person agrees. Then the speaker says, ところで今年の夏どこかに行く? ところで今年の夏どこかに行く? By the way, are you going somewhere this summer? So the ところで breaks the listener's line of thought, gently easing the listener into the new topic, going somewhere for the summer. To summarize, in this lesson, we learned how to use tokoro, which is a noun that ordinarily means place, as a pseudonoun, which means time or state of being. As a pseudonoun, tokoro modifies verbs, adjectives, and nouns. And in plain, fast speech, it gets shortened to toko. Tokoro is used in a number of fixed patterns. There are 7 patterns with verbs that we took up here. Ru tokoro da means I'm about to do something. Te-iru tokoro da means I'm in the middle of doing something. V-te-ita tokoro da means I have been doing something. And ta tokoro da means I just finished doing something. These 4 are very commonly used patterns. The other patterns are yo to shite-ita tokoro da, which means I was about to do something. Ru tokoro datta means I almost or nearly did something. And ta tokoro de, which means although or even if. The pseudonoun tokoro can also combine with particles TOKORO WO, TOKORO NI, TOKORO e, TOKORO de to give various meanings to time or state of being. And this ends our lesson on tokoro. I'll see you in the next one. Gambatte kudasai. If you're serious about becoming fluent in Japanese, it's important to practice daily, learn grammar, and build up vocabulary. My whole course is designed to give you a strong basic foundation in the Japanese language that you can build solidly upon. So please click like, share, or subscribe and watch the next video in the series. Nihongo no benkyou ni gambatte kudasai. じゃあ、またね。